Alright, hi and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about something that I have huge interest in. It's something that drove me to the gym first when I was 16 or 17 years old to put on a bit of muscle, gain some strength for Gaelic football. So that's the whole reason I got into weight training, I got into the gym in the first place, and I've been researching it pretty much non-stop since for the last 12 years. Gaelic football, we're lucky enough, while it's a unique sport, the physical preparation for Gaelic football can be compared and contrasted to stuff like American football, NBA, rugby, Australian rules. And I suppose the best coaches in a lot of those sports, as well as the Olympic sports, is where I've learned my programming for Gaelic football and my programming for athletic preparation. Obviously there's a list of your important exercises, your squats, single leg squats or lunges, hamstring work, hip hinge work, shoulder presses, bench presses, chin-ups. We all know that stuff should be in your off-season program or should be in any decent strength training program. And if you go to any gym, you're going to find people doing those exercises. But how do you program them through sets and reps and tempo and exercise order and frequency? How do you program them for maximal effectiveness? How do you make sure the 12-16 week period you spend in the gym in your off season actually works? So that's what we're going to call the program, GAA Off Season That Works. Let's define something that's going to actually make you better in a measurable, tangible way that you can see results in it. So with that, let's jump straight into the video. Off-season that works. I see so many people for the last 12 years doing stuff that just doesn't work. If the goal is an increase in sports performances to make you better at your sport or to make you more physically capable for your sport, there's numerous different ways of doing that. But you see so many people going around in circles by either doing the same stuff all the time, doing stuff that's not really helpful for their sport, not doing anything to do with nutrition, even though they're on an off-season program, which is pure madness. Okay, so number one, your first point is to reduce the risk of injuries. So that's the first goal. There's no point being the strongest or fittest player on the bench. That's the sole starting point of any off-season program for a sport, for any sport at all. You do your off-season work so that you can spend far less time being injured, if any time at all. That's the number one goal. And we can do that through two ways, in my opinion, which is strengthen any weaknesses. So in your lower body, the common weaknesses will be your glutes and hamstrings and your VMO on the inside of your leg there. They are the common weaknesses. If you can strengthen the common weaknesses, you're going to have a far less chance of being injured. With a lot of GAA off-season programs and prehab programs, they're all good and well, but the problem is they don't emphasize enough strength enough. So they're trying to build strength in really strong muscles like the VMO or the hamstrings or the glutes, but they don't use heavy weight, they just use light weight and higher reps. Again, back to our point, if you're coming back from an injury or you're rehabbing an injury, then that could be exactly what you need to do, and I'm no expert there. But if you're just weak or you're just tight, which is basically everyone at the end of a GAA season, let's face it, if you're just weak or just tight, you definitely don't need to be doing huge amounts of prehab. Just strengthen the muscle to good technique and really good exercise selection. In the upper body, I suppose examples of muscles that need to be strengthened would be your lats and your external rotators in the shoulder. Both of those muscle groups are always very, very weak. You can nearly take it for granted that they're weak. So I tend to do a lot of work on the back of the upper body, as opposed to most people are used to a lot of benching and bicep curls. The second thing is a controversial enough topic, or can be, it's to improve mobility. So mobility, flexibility can mean a lot of different things. But mobility for me throughout this program is dynamic mobility. How flexible you're being while the muscle is loaded. So something like a split squat demands a lot of flexibility while the muscle is under tension. So that's the type of mobility we'll be talking about, and that's the type of mobility that will have the biggest impact on your on-pitch performance, on-pitch flexibility, and on-pitch risks of getting injured. So increase strength and power. So first thing is Gaelic footballers aren't powerlifters. So your squat, deadlift and bench press, great exercises, but being strong in them isn't the be all and end all. We're not powerlifters. We're not trying to increase your just 1 rep max in those exercises. What I'm trying to do with this program is increase your 4 to 8 rep max in numerous exercises. Maybe 12 different exercises will increase your 4 to 8 rep max or your 6 to 10 rep max. And that's going to have a far better impact on your sports performance and your on-field performance than increasing your 1 rep max in the 3 powerlifting basics. So what we're going to do that is keep your reps between 6 and 12 reps usually. I'm going to try and increase your 6 rep to 10 rep max in those exercises, and through doing that will increase your strength. A lot of people only think of strength as in a 1 rep max. If you are doing, say, an incline dumbbell bench press and you increase your 6 to 10 rep max from, say, 20 kg dumbbells to 30 kg dumbbells, that's a really big improvement in strength. So that's the way we're going to look at increasing your strength and power in the gym. Numerous different exercises, maybe say 10 to 12 different exercises, and improve your 6 to 10 rep max. The 2 situations mainly you can approach is when you're getting tackled, how strong are you not to lose the ball, or how strong are you not to get just bundled over or thrown to the side pretty easily, and how strong are you while tackling someone else. This program will massively improve your physical capabilities in both situations. So plyometrics, great if they're used properly, but they're way overdone, and just getting stronger at the basic lifts is going to give you far better results, far quicker in terms of injury reduction and increasing strength and power than plyometrics will. So the next one of my favourite ones. So I've been lucky enough to learn from some of the best coaches in the world, world-class chiropractors, powerlifters, bodybuilders, personal trainers, and increasing muscle mass is one of my specialities. So if you look at me, I'm not exactly a huge guy. I do a bit of bodybuilding, but I'm not exactly a huge guy. I'm still below 80 kg, and my goal every day is to build as much muscle as possible. So people presume that it's just a matter of, oh, if I go into the gym and try and build muscle, there's a big fear of me getting too big. Absolutely not. You should always be trying to gain as much muscle as possible in a functional way. So functional hypertrophy it's called. I'm pretty sure Charles Poliquin invented the term, but coaches like John Rusin are using it all the time now. Functional hypertrophy. So the best example I can give of this, and this is something that really excites me about Gaelic football preparation looking into the future, because I'm obsessed with the game, is people like Conor Callahan or Paddy Durcan. So I can use these 2 examples because they were already top class footballers long before they put on the extra mass in the gym. So Conor Callahan, we all know he scored a goal in the All-Ireland final, he scored 10 points against Kildare more or less his debut. He was obviously a fantastic footballer before he put on muscle, but he's easily put on 8 to 12 kilos of mass. We can all see it. I might put some photos out on here. We can all see it. We've all been talking about it all summer. The size of him, the size of his arms, his back, his legs. He's put on a huge amount of muscle. And you would definitely say the muscle he's put on is functional because he's moving just as fast, if not faster than ever before. I'd say faster than ever before, but harder to knock off the ball and harder to tackle. The second one we can give the example of is something I've watched a bit closer because he's from Mayo, is Paddy Durcan. So Paddy Durcan was an outrageous footballer from 16, 17, 18, right the way up. At 19 or 20, I'm pretty sure it was, he was cleaning like Gary Sice in Connacht round games for club, and he was breaking on to the Mayo team. So I'll be the first to say he was an outstanding footballer long before he put on the muscle. But there's no doubt, in the last 3 years, he must be 10 kg heavier. He's completely filled out, he's put on a lot of muscle, and he's just as fast and explosive as ever. So it's obviously functional hypertrophy for Con and for Paddy Durcan, 2 of the best footballers in Ireland. Before they put on any muscle, they were already excellent, but because they've put on that 10 kilos of functional hypertrophy, of muscle gain, of bulk, and kept their leanness, they're now probably capable of marking any midfielder in the county because they've put on that much muscle. So even someone like David Moran or Aidan O'Shea, those guys have put on so much muscle that they will give someone who's naturally enormous like O'Shea or David Moran or one of those big 6'4" midfielders a run for their money. The best way it was ever explained to me was through Andres. So why do you have in the Olympics and in boxing, UFC, why do you have different weight classes? Because the larger the cross-section area of the muscle, the easier it is to build strength. No matter how much bench pressing I do, and no matter how much squatting I do, when it comes to fighting with Aidan O'Shea for a ball at the edge of the square from a kick-out, I'm never going to stand a chance just because the size matters. Okay, so that's hugely important. Anyone tells you that if you're 75 kg now, or 70 kg, when they tell you, oh, you don't need to put on weight, you just need to get stronger, is talking shit. You can quote me on this. In Gaelic football, you're going to see more and more physiques where they go and put on 5 to 10 kilos of muscle in a space of 2 to 3 years. It's going to happen more and more and more. I've put up to 12 kg on some of the footballers I've worked with, and it's just made a huge difference to their game. You can get too big from gaining too much fat with the muscle. Very common thing. People think they're bulking, they're trying to put on muscle, so they end up eating all sorts of shite, or he got too big from the gym. Absolute nonsense. You didn't get too big from the gym, you ate too much shite food, and you got too fat. Okay, so while we want you to gain muscle and gain bulk, or gain size in the legs and the shoulders and the upper back, we do not want you to gain body fat. We want to keep you as lean as possible, and that'll lead me into my next point. Alright, so the next point on a successful off-season, an off-season that works, is to lose body fat. For me, strength and conditioning means strong and conditioned. So strong is how much weight you can lift. Conditioning for me means how lean you are. There is no way around it. You have to lose body fat if you're going to get fitter. If you want to run up and down the pitch all day, you're wing back or wing forward or basically any position in the modern game. If you're looking to have these huge fitness levels, this box-to-box work rate, there's just no way around getting as lean as possible. It's not going to happen. So you might have noticed, along with the 17, 18, 19-year-olds disappearing from the inter-county game because they haven't enough muscle size built up, another thing that's disappeared from the Gaelic football is, you know, the fat full forward or the fat full back or the fat centre back, the heavy guy. Only in club football, and even at that not as frequently as they used to be, there's just no room for someone who's carrying a lot of body fat. Your goal has to be get as lean as possible. If you're on a running program to get fit, it will be completely ineffective if you don't lose body fat. So to hit this point home and make you clearly understand this, because this is something I feel so strongly about, doing a running program is nonsense unless you're focusing on losing body fat. Now, losing body fat depends hugely on nutrition. So we'll use two examples. You have that guy, he's on every team. He misses half the training sessions, it might be through injury, it might be just because he's a bit lazy or he doesn't give full commitment. But whenever he does train, he's up top of the fitness. Even though he misses a load of fitness sessions, he can come back at any stage of the year and he can be running up and down the pitch. It's because he never gains too much body fat, he keeps himself lean, he watches his food, or maybe he doesn't watch his food. If he's a young guy, he might even need to watch his food. He just stays naturally lean and his fitness is always bang on, despite never doing a running program. We also have the opposite example, the guy who never misses a training session, who's always at training, gives his all in the runs, but he never gets any fitter. Never gets any fitter, never improves fitness-wise at all, never improves the times he can move box to box like we're saying, or end to end like we're saying, because he never gets any leaner. His diet is crap. He might give all the effort he can out in the GAA pitch, which, you know, every club does. At least a dozen players who give absolutely everything. I know that's the case in Mayo anyway. He might be one of those players, but he never gets fitter because he never gets leaner. Your goal this off-season is to do an off-season that works, is to come back and have your best ever season for your club or maybe even your county. If that's your goal, you're selling yourself so short if you're not coming back lean. Okay, so your goal has to be to get your body fat down to where you can see all 6 abs. The point is going to come flying back at me. Our brilliant footballers like Wayne Rooney, just a gifted, skillful player, outstanding skills, really dangerous, proven performer in Gaelic football. My opinion is, the Wayne Rooney physique, he's selling himself short. He could be so much better in our sport, in Gaelic football, if he focused on getting leaner. But then for speed as well, okay, so speed is something that's very, very hard to work on. Some people are just born with great pace. There's not much you can do about it. If you're born slow, you're not going to improve your speed massively. But you can improve your speed massively if you're not that quick, and the reason is you're carrying extra body fat. So if you're not born with Keith Higgins, Jack McCaffrey pace, there's not much you can do about it. You're about as fast as you're going to be. If you get stronger, your speed will improve, but not in a massive way. It's not going to happen. People telling you otherwise are lying to you. But if you're carrying extra body fat, if you're carrying an extra 10 kg of body fat, and far more people, Gaelic footballers, than are willing to admit, are carrying at least 10 kg extra. If you lose that 10 kg body fat gain to a 3 kg muscle, your speed will go through the roof. Plus, you have to remember, Gaelic football is a speed endurance sport, so it's not how fast you are for one sprint, it's how fast you are for 20, 30, 50-yard sprints over the course of a game. So if you lose body fat, you're going to be so much faster in the 20th sprint, in the 25th sprint, in the 30th sprint. So losing body fat, for those two examples, just overall fitness and speed endurance it should be a top priority of your off season. And so the last thing I'm going to talk about is improved mental toughness. So this is the only thing I should have said at the start of the video, out of the 5, that's very hard to make tangible progress. How do you know? How do you measure mental toughness? It's impossible to measure. It's like one of those things, when you see it, you know what it is, but you don't know how to explain it, or you definitely don't know how to measure it before you see it. Okay, so we can all look at sites like Ballintober and Mayo or Corofin or the Dubs and look at the mental toughness and name the various different scenarios that they've pulled through in the last 15 minutes. But individually, as a player in your off season, can you improve your mental toughness? Absolutely. If you lose body fat, if you increase the amount of muscle you have, if you get stronger in those 10 to 12 lifts to a variety of rep ranges, like we said, and if you reduce your risk of injuries, if you're used to injuring your hamstrings, you're used to having tight hips, you're used to having shoulders giving you trouble, if you increase those 4 things, okay, or you improve those 4 things, you're going to be so much mentally stronger, you're going to be far more confident, and your concentration is going to be far better. Strength training is widely renowned as one of the best tools that can improve concentration, mental focus, just being able to focus on one task at a time, not get distracted, which in any sport is a huge benefit. As well as confidence, you improve, you get leaner. Now, I'm not saying that the strongest guy is always the most confident on the team, or the strongest guy on the team is always the one that concentrates the best. Absolutely not. But I'm saying, if you're starting from a weak point, and you're physically weak, and you improve those 4 points that I talked about earlier, your confidence will come and your mental toughness will improve with that. If you're already very strong, and you're very strong in the gym, but maybe you're carrying too much body fat, or you have an old injury that you're going to clear up this off season while you lose the body fat, your mental toughness will improve. So through those 4 things, we will guarantee improvements in mental toughness, concentration and confidence. So that's going to be the focus of the next 12 weeks. I'm looking forward to hearing your questions. Like I said at the start of this video, this is the reason I started going to the gym in the first place. I love talking about this stuff. It's really fun to talk about. It's really fun to watch different teams from different sports, how they prepare physically, how they prepare in the gym, the different running programs, etc. But to recap on everything I've said so far, you want to reduce the chance of you getting injured, number 1, and that's to strengthen the common weak muscles and improving your dynamic mobility, so your mobility while the muscles are under load or under tension. You want to increase the strength and power to we'll say 12 exercises, 10 to 12 exercises, increase the amount you can lift in the 6 to 12 rep max, increase the amount of muscle mass you have. That doesn't mean the same gain in weight for everyone, because if you're 80 kg and you lose 5 kg of fat and gain 5 kg muscle, you're the same weight but you've gained muscle mass. So decreasing body fat, your running program is pointless if you're not looking at reducing your body fat. You can quote me on that. If you are carrying a spare tire around here and you're doing this running program of 200-meter sprints or 100-meter sprints or Tabata runs or whatever your running program might look like, if you're doing that while not reducing your body fat, it's pointless, okay? You're just going to be spinning your wheels. And then the last one is mental toughness. To improve on the first 4 things, you're guaranteed to improve your mental toughness as well. So I look forward to working with you over the next 12 weeks. I'll be doing this on YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. So ask me as many questions as you can about any exercises, stretching, whether you have a common area that you get injured or a lift that you really struggle to get stronger in, whatever it might be, I'd love to help you. I have a lot of experience in it and I'm looking forward to helping you out. So thanks for watching. As usual, don't forget to click like, subscribe, share, all that sort of stuff, and we'll talk to you again soon.